Grief, the full body experience. Grief is absolutely a full body experience. It takes place over your entire body. I used to say all the time that grief was an emotional experience that took place in your heart. That is true. It does take place in your heart, but not only in your heart. It takes place in your brain, it takes place in your entire body. And I would break that down and share with everyone how the grief would affect every part of our body. But what I want you to know now is that grief is a full body experience. So if you are out there and you are experiencing shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, your stomach hurts, you're experiencing diarrhea, or you're feeling nauseous all of the time, it is probably connected to your grief. And I really want to encourage you to go get it checked out by a doctor. Absolutely, 100%. Have a doctor check out how you are feeling and what you are experiencing. There, I said it. When we think of grief, we often focus on the emotional side. But there are actually 6 parts that I'm going to bring up to you today that are every part of these are affected by your grieving experience. Yes, it's emotional. You're going to feel sadness. You're going to feel anger. You're going to feel confusion. But the reality is that grief is so much more than that. It's so much more than just those things. It's a full body experience that you will experience over your full body. Your children are experiencing it over their full body. Your husband, your spouse is experiencing it over his full body. And they've got these 2 grieving experiences that are colliding with one another as we're going through and trying to regulate and figure out this path. But the reality is that grief is so much more. It is so much more. Grief can impact every single part of your life, often in ways that you didn't expect. Recognize these areas, recognizing all of these areas can help you with the difficulties of trying to break grief down. Understanding that the different areas will be affected can help you understand how deeply you're grieving, how deeply your child is grieving, how this deep grief is affecting you, and why it feels so overwhelming all the time. So let's take a closer look at all the areas that is going to be affected. Number 1, your feelings. Grief is an emotional experience. It takes place in your heart. Grief can send your emotions into overload. You can be up 1 minute and down the next. In literally 2 minutes, you can be changed. You can feel anger. You can feel sad. You can feel frustrated. You can feel overwhelmed, all in an hour, all in the same day, all multiple times throughout the week. And those are just 4 that I listed. There are so many more than that. You can feel them multiple times throughout the day or sometimes all at once. Emotions change quickly, and they do. And there's a reason why they do, and we talk about it, and I teach it to you in the class. It makes you feel like you're on a roller coaster. People tell me they feel like they're getting hit with waves, huge waves that keep knocking them on their butt. They're having a hard time breathing. They feel like they're breathing out of a straw. It can feel sad. It can bring up a range of emotions that can feel intense and unpredictable. And if you're anything like me, one of the things that I tend to do is not lean into the emotion. I tend to lean into the strength. When Austin died, and I think it's because of where my placement in the family was, where my placement in this with my sister was. So I'm the oldest sister of 5. We have a brother that's older than us. I'm 10 years older than Erica. I've always taken care of Erica. That was my job. That was the job that I was placed into by my parents. Hey, can you get her diaper? Hey, can you babysit? Hey, can you feed her? It happened naturally. Not complaining about it. That's what happened. And when she lost her child, it would only be natural that I would show up for her and help her through this experience. Well, when I was showing up to help her through this experience, somewhere along the way, I decided that I wasn't going to grieve. I wasn't going to feel these emotions. That was not my job. Honestly, I really thought that only Erica and Lewis were going to grieve. I didn't think I was going to grieve as well. I thought that just the two of them would grieve. And so, because of that, I pulled back. I didn't show my emotions. I didn't share my emotions. I didn't talk about my emotions. Hear me out, friends. Every day I was in the shower crying. And I knew once I put my hand on that knob and turned that knob off, that was it for me for grieving. Because the moment I stepped out of that shower, I was showing up for my kids, for my husband, for my sister, and for my family. And so I was negating my grief. Nobody knew that I was doing it. I didn't even know that I was doing this. It wasn't until 8 months after that I realized I'm truly grieving. I'm broken here. So grief will affect your feelings and emotions in all different ways. We will avoid those emotions. We will try to push them back. We will try to get rid of them. No doubt about it. You try to get rid of the emotions. The second area that grief will affect is your thoughts. Now, I want you to know this. I teach grief in two main ways. Definitely the full body experience, and we talk about that a lot. But there are two types of grief. There's intellectual grief, which takes place in our brain, and emotional grief, which takes place in our heart. And those two types of grief are at a full battle all the time. Grief isn't just about feelings, it's also about what we think. And the things that we are thinking are flooding our brain, our heart, and our soul. We're in total overwhelm. I will never be happy again. I'm never going to find another love like this. No one understands what I'm going through. Nobody wants to talk about this. How come everything everyone says is not helpful? How many of those thoughts have you had? How many of the thoughts do you have? Like, no one understands what I'm going through? Playing on repeat in your brain over and over again. Controlling your grief. These thoughts control your grief. Let me let you in on a little secret. You never have an emotion until you have a thought. Every time you have one of these thoughts that no one understands what I'm going through, and it's playing on repeat, it's not only sending you sadness, anger, confusion, loneliness, overwhelm, there's a whole list of other things that it is also sending you. So your feelings, your thoughts, these thoughts can make it hard to focus, hard to sleep, or even go about your daily life. They keep us frozen. Recognizing that grief-related thoughts is the first step towards finding ways to cope with your grief. So you've got to find these thoughts. And that's a big part of the work that we do at the Grief School. Your behavior. Grief can affect your thoughts, it can affect your emotions, and it can affect your behavior. After a loss, you might find yourself behaving in ways that are out of character for you. You're drinking too much. You're shopping too much. You're eating too much. Eating way more than you ever thought. You're sleeping all the time. You're not cleaning your house. You're not picking up after yourself. You might be drinking more than you ever thought. You're skipping meals. And here's a big one, friends. You're neglecting your self-care. It is not uncommon for grievers to neglect their self-care, not brushing their teeth, not washing their hair, not taking a shower, sleeping all the time, not eating at all. All of these things are absolutely experiences that we find on our grief healing journey. Grief can change your habits and behaviors in ways that you never thought. You could get to the point where you don't even recognize your own self. It's so important to be gentle with yourself and allow the space for that to happen. Allow the space for you only want to sleep all day long. It's okay. Just be there. Be in that for a few minutes. Your feelings, your thoughts, your behaviors. Number 4, your beliefs. Grief can cause you to question your beliefs. After a loss, you might find yourself behaving in ways that are out of character. I just read that. I'm on the wrong one. Loss can shake up your beliefs, whether they are religious, spiritual, or simply your general outlook on life. You can question your walk with God. You can question your spiritual beliefs. You are now starting to think about the afterlife. Is there an afterlife? You're thinking about spirituality. Are we connected spiritually? Can he see me? Does she know I'm here? All of those things. Are these signs that I'm actually getting from my person? Some people find that their faith can get weakened. Some find that it strengthens their faith, while others find new ways of strengthening their spiritual walk. Grief can start you with questioning fairness, justice, and the meaning of life. I'm telling you, like nothing before, there is nothing like having a death of a close person to have you questioning the meaning of life, questioning whether this is actually hell and if there even is a heaven. Grief can cause you to reconsider what you believe in, what you truly believe in. So I said your feelings, your thoughts, your behaviors, and your beliefs. Those are four major areas of your life that are going to be affected by your grief. Grief is a full body experience. It affects every part of your brain, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. Grief can cause you to have issues with your health. It can take a toll on your physical health. Grief can absolutely take a toll on your physical health. It's not uncommon to experience symptoms like headaches, stomach aches, diarrhea, trouble sleeping, changes in your appetite, muscle pain, joint pain, back pain, vision, difficulty with vision. If you notice physical symptoms, go talk to your doctor. Go talk to your doctor. Now, one of the things that I'm noticing is that the doctors are going to want to write you a prescription for anxiety and for depression because they're not truly understanding grief. Take the prescription. I can't tell you not to take the prescription. Try it if you feel like you need it. There are absolutely grievers on this grief healing journey who absolutely need help, medical help from their doctor. I'm not going to tell you either way whether that's you or not, and that's not what this is about. I want you recognizing that if something starts to really bother you, you've got to go and seek help for it. Grief can affect your body in ways you never thought it would. Your health deserves attention. It especially deserves attention right now as you are grieving. Okay, here's the big one. Your purpose for living and your purpose for being. I'm going to go over them again. Number 1 was your feelings, 2 was your thoughts, 3 is your behaviors, 4 is your beliefs, 5 is your health, and 6 is your purpose. Grief can make you question your purpose for life. Does any of this really matter? Should I stay here? Or do I want to go and be with him? A lot of times that's what grievers think. What's the point? I don't care. I don't care if I get this done or not. That doesn't matter to me anymore. 100%, your outlook on life will change. Your meaning for living is going to change. Your reason for living is going to change. The feelings of questioning everything is absolutely normal and can bring a sense of dread into your life. You can absolutely feel like you're dreading every single aspect of this life. While these thoughts can be unsettling, they are a part of the process and a way of finding meaning for living. Hear me out. I have grievers tell me all the time that they don't want to be here anymore, that they don't want to be here anymore without their person. 100%. And I don't know if that's you. I honestly don't. But the thing is, you've got to start talking about it. You have to start talking about it. And you have to be honest about it. And you have to be honest about it with anyone who will listen. And you need to share that with them. And if it gets too heavy and you start creating a plan, I implore upon you to start seeking help. Seek help. There are people out there who will listen to you. Not wanting to be here after your person has died is an absolute feeling and emotion that comes along with grief. Grief touches every part of who you are. Even remember, we talked about your behaviors and your beliefs. This might have been a belief that you had, I would never do that, but now you're starting to question it. And I'm actually talking about people having thoughts of wanting to go and be with their person. And that's why it can feel so overwhelming at times, because it's out of character for you. By understanding the many ways that grief can affect you, you can start doing the self-care that you need to take care of yourself. What's your grief plan, friends? What's your grieving plan? What's your plan for grieving? How do you plan to get yourself out of this spinning? How do you plan to start living again? Did you know that there's an actual way to grieve to get you back onto your living plan? What's your grief story? What are you telling yourself? In the podcast, I post a few questions. I'm going to go over a few of those. What emotions have been the strongest for you during this grieving experience? What thought do you find yourself thinking over and over again since your loss? Here's what I love about the journal questions. You don't have to answer them. You don't have to pull out a journal if you don't want to, but it really makes sense to take a look at them and ask them of yourself. Answer them while you're driving down the street. Think about them. Have your beliefs about life, faith, and fairness changed since your loss? How have they changed? What physical symptoms have you noticed in your body during this time of grief? What do you usually do to take care of yourself, your physical health? And how has grief changed that? And there's a few more questions there that you can answer. My friend, I'm so glad to spend this few minutes with you and breaking down grief and how grief is absolutely affecting your body. But I want you to know something, my friends. My name is Sharon Brubaker, and I'm the owner of the Grief School. I teach women how to grieve. I have absolute programs where you can come and sit with me and I can break down the grief even more. One of the things that we know about grief is that there's a lot of programs out there where they're just talking about, hey, this is grief, this is what it feels like, all of that. There's some things that I believe we absolutely need. We need to learn the action steps that are going to help us move our grief along. I cannot move your grief along, but I sure as hell can show you how to do it. A griever needs to talk about their grief. They need to talk about why this feels so bad. They need to start acknowledging that they're actually grieving. And so I set up Study Hall, which is on Tuesdays. It's a free program. You can come in, sit with other women who are learning and talking about their grief as well. Processing the pain of grief. It is a paid program. It is 4 weeks. We meet twice a week, a total of 4 hours. That's where I absolutely break down grief for you and give you options of how you can move this grief along and start actually doing the grieving process. For most of us, we are frozen in time. Our person has just died, and we don't know what to do, and we just freeze right there. In processing the pain of grief, I start with the definition of grief, and we break down what grief is and how to move it along. This is not the grief healing program. This is just how to grieve. I also offer grief healing. It is a 12-week program where you are actually working on your grief with your person. They all tie in together. They work with one another. They are amazing programs, and I'd be honored to have you in any of the programs. Click the link below and get the journal questions, and then come and follow me on the Facebook page, on the business page, in TikTok, in Instagram. I'm here to help you understand how to move this pain beyond what is just settling in your heart. Thank you, friends. and I hope to see you in the next